Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices, starting with the DAX. We're getting an extension in the fifth wave here. So we need to count 5 waves from wave 4 here up into wave 5. So it looks like it's going to take us a little bit higher. So let's go in and have a look at that. So from this reference point here, wave 4 here, we need to count 5 waves to the upside, and in that we're looking at wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then the extension is wave 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves up for the next move, which is roughly 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 over to here for the third, a fourth and a fifth just for the third wave here. Then there'll be this fourth wave here, and then a fifth wave. I'm not sure if this is going to take us up to 12,500, but let's just see how the support goes at this point here. Now, we have been long in this market from here and here. We've had the stop here. I've moved the stop to the low of wave 4 here. You could go long here again here and take part profit at the 12,300 here, because we'd expect a corrective move from there. So let's just put in a little signal here for part profit in this, on that level there. We'll count the 5 waves up through here first, so it should take us above the 12.3. I'll just save that and I'll also just go to the tick chart just to unwind some of this counting. So let's just there's a lot here to go through, but this is pretty much how I've counted it here. So wave 1 and 2 here. Just for the people that like to do a bit of counting. 1 and 2 here, and we're look from 2 here, we're looking all the way up for this third wave up here. Okay. This little guy here, and then a wave 4 and then a wave 5 up. So between wave 2 and wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 blue waves, so wave 1 and 2 here, and then the third wave takes us all the way up until this little high here. And then from this high here, we would look for the blue wave here, 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to take us to that top. And then inside this blue wave scenario here, we've got a very clear 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So I feel like we're sort of on track here. The only thing that sort of bothered me a little bit is that from the top here, this move down through here seems to count in 5 waves as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. The only problem with that is wave 3 here is the smallest, so, or is it? Sometimes we need to check these things, so I'll get the old yardstick out. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's not the shortest, just sort of... so that's okay. So basically we've got 5 waves down here. So this rectangle is 61.8% roughly, so we always gravitate to the closest largest number, which would be the midpoint, the 50 here. So we could say to ourselves, if this was going to fail, this is where it's going to fail from. It does appear that we've got 5 waves up to this point here though, so this would be wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then we're going up here further. So if you're going to go long here, then just wait for that high to be taken out there, or wait for a nice support on top of 50 there, and that will be safe. But otherwise, this would be down for the A wave here, up for the B wave, and down for the C wave of wave 4. Otherwise, this wave 4 is already in play here. But like I said, we've got 5 waves here. You know, maybe it's throwing me out. We've got an A, B, C here for the A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave here. It's got to be mindful of those little traps. So yeah, safe trade midpoint 50 here as the catalyst for going long at that stage. But also too, we look to take part profit around the 3 here, probably above that. So the other markets in their own way fall into that sort of play. So if we look at the UK market, for instance, where is it, the FTSE? So yeah, so as I probably mentioned before, this was all really quite sort of messy in here. It's starting to stretch out a little bit, so it makes it a little bit easier. So wave 3, wave 4 here, and then we look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then up for 5 for the third wave here. So I'm thinking 1 and 2 and 3 here, which is not finished yet. Another high here, then wave 4 and wave 5, then wave 4, and then wave 5. So this has still got further to go to the upside. The cash market doesn't make it sort of any easier here. So this is the cash market. So from the low here, I've got wave 1 here and wave 2, and then wave 1 and wave 2 the next degree smaller, ABC here for 2, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave, ABC for the fourth wave. Problem here overlaps wave 1 here, so we may even end up in a much more bullish market here with a series of 1s and 2s, but this will do for the time being. And then we're going up for wave 5 here, so we've got 1 and 2 here. I don't want to call that 3 and 4. This is probably likely a smaller wave 1 and 2 in here, and then 3. So we're still pushing to the upside here, even though it's all got a bit messy in here. So we could be into for a larger structure than I'm thinking here. But yeah, this will. So yeah, I mean, you can go long here. I just don't think it's going to retest the 500 here, which because of the third wave it's in, unless I've got this wrong here somewhere. If I've got it wrong, then this would be a 3 and 4 here and a 5th here. Then this would come back down and touch on here. So look, if it does come back down and touch on to the 500, then just buy it on the 500 here, because there's still further to go to the upside with the European markets. The French market, the CAC 40 here, I've got this counted a little bit differently, and different in that the other markets I just looked at don't have wave 3 in here yet, but I've counted all this up through here. It seems sort of okay, but even so, here on the 5600 here, we can see that the market's reacting from here. So this is an arrival, a reaction, and the first high above the level. So we could look for 5 waves up into here, but I think that it's going to fall back here. That's the problem. So I don't want to go long within this space here. So yeah, not a lot I can sort of say here, but we should be going higher based on the other European markets at this stage. But yeah, looks like we've got little wave 1 in here and 2. So 3, 4, and 5 here, and then a fall back into here. But you want to be careful. This is if you're going to trade long, the 30 would be where we'd be looking at here. This is all of group 1 here, and of course group 2 is here, 80, 72 here, and 65. That will be the support for a larger correction at that particular stage. But yeah, I just don't see what we could do here. It's a bit of a trap in this space here. And also to the Italian MIB, we're going to have to adjust its wave count as well. Even though I felt that I've counted it right through here, so from wave 4 here we've got wave 1 and 2, and then all the way up for the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th here. So what happens if we get another move that's going to take that high out here? Well, then we would need to adjust. We would need to adjust this particular structure that we've got in here. So I'll leave this for the time being. Look, I guess look, the only safe way to look at this is that if the 22 becomes the support, then it will be above the 61.8% mark, which will be around here somewhere. Then we could go long at that point. But while we're under this level here, then it's a bit of a trap. So just need to be careful about this. I suppose if you wanted to go long, then we could grab this, take this here. If I'm just shooting the breeze here, but if this really hasn't established itself on top of 21.9 yet, so it would, if it from this point, I mean, this is part of a retest of that, but it's still, if this came, let's just say that this little move up through here, let's just say that it came back and tested this level here. If it tested here, then you could use that as that reference point as a catalyst to go to the upside at that point, okay? That would get you up to this point. I don't know if you'd take profit at that point, but then that would be pretty much wave 1 here and wave 2 here. And then 1 and 2, and so it could be okay at that point, but it just does look like we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here, bit of a spike for wave 4 and down for wave 5. Yeah, there's too many options here. I can see this is an A and a B and a C here as well, but this doesn't give me 5 waves here either, so it's just not clear for me, so I'm just going to leave it at this point. If we get support on the 22, well, then I know my count. I've got to go back and check my count and expand on expand that fractal and look to another degree higher in a move to the upside. All right, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.